to Mr. Guy Clark, who is in our basement studio. Hello, Guy.
How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing fine. This is our usual August meeting, I think, Guy.
Yeah, it is. Here's the tautological twosome down here.
Here we go. And of course, you brought along for the first time with you Mr. Townes Van Zandt. I want to say, Townes, very, very welcome to GLR.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Well, I'm delighted that you're both here.
Nice to be back. I've never been to the show. I've been here a few times.
That's right. When, in fact, was the last time you were here, Townes?
About 16 months ago, I think, something like that.
Did you kind of just sneak in and play the borderline, or was it somewhere kind of low-key like that?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I didn't play the borderline, did I?
Oh, was it the acoustic room?
I might have, well, I played, a whole tour up from, Perth to Brighton.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tonight you can be found at the Bloomsbury Theatre, which is the first of two nights for not only Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clark, but also Peter Rowan and Jon Stewart. Now, we'll talk a bit more about that a bit later on, because it's quite an impressive package, actually, isn't it, Guy?
Yeah, we're getting ready to have some fun.
I bet. Well, listen, I mean, because you have to be up there tonight to perform, we thought that you could do a couple of numbers now.
Yeah.
So who's going to go first? Or?
I am.
All right, Guy, take it away in your own time.
Who was that guy you were talking to earlier?
Oh, he's the chap, Phil Kennedy, who does a programme before me, the sports.
Yeah, we just want to make sure he wasn't making fun of you.
Well, I hope he wasn't.
Well, me too, because Townes is like looking for him.
Well, thank you, Guy and Townes. Well, I'll pass that message on to Phil.
He's probably 6'5" and weighs 225 pounds, right?
No, he's not.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right, Guy.
Okay, well, let's see. Here's kind of a new song, or actually a new song. Well, I'll just play it. Just let it fall where it may. Sorry about your mama, sorry about your father, sorry about that business with your brother-in-law. Hard cheese about the money, man, hard cheese about the stock, hard cheese about your bed up the ears and high. Yeah, it's tough luck about your luggage, tough luck about your socks, tough luck about the way that the other shoe drops, man. I heard about your girlfriend, I heard about your wife, heard about the thing you call the rest of your life. Hey, how'd you get this number, man? Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you killed? What do you want me to do? How'd you get this number, man? Please don't make me laugh. You know you ought to be on TV with a line like that. The car wreck, man, I heard about the fight. I heard about the time you was in jail all night. Now, I know you don't like trouble, man, I know you don't like to fight, but I know that you can argue with a fence post all night. Yeah, and I heard about the lampshade, I heard you had it on your head, I heard you told a joke and knocked the whole room dead. Man, I know about the cough syrup, I know about the junk, I know about your bed in a deep blue funk. Ooh, how'd you get this number, man? Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're kidding? What do you want me to do? How'd you get this number, man? Please don't make me laugh. You know you ought to be on TV with a line like that.
That's Guy Clark. performing live in our basement studio with a brand new song. He does. Well, what's so funny, Guy? What are you laughing at?
Oh, I don't know. That song just amuses me, you know.
It is rather amusing. how very new is it? Or
It doesn't amuse me. It's about me.
It is not.
I don't think it's funny at all.
I can't imagine you talk to lampposts all night, or was it gateposts all night, Tans? Yes, I can't imagine it's about you.
Not for a while now.
well,
Then I wouldn't talk back to you.
well, who's going to perform the next tune?
I will.
Okay, Tans.
This is my ex-guitar player used to call this a medley of my hit. Living on the road, my friend, was gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but a favorite one it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye, sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit, boys. His horse was fast as polished steel, wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico, and nobody heard his dying words. Oh, but that's the way it goes. And all the federales say they could have had him any day, they only let him hang around out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. Dusty Pancho bit down south, ended up in a Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. But ain't nobody knows. And all the federales say they could have had him any day, they only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Tell how Pancho fell and Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, to save a few for Lefty too. He just did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. Federales say they could have had him any day, they only let him go so wrong out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say they could have had him any day, they only let him go so wrong out of kindness, I suppose.
Well, that's Townes Van Zandt in our basement studio performing, which he's guitar player. He's referred to it as a medley of his greatest hit, of course, Pancho and Lefty, which I'm sure everybody's well familiar with that song, Townes.
Well, thanks. It's one of those songs that just kind of drifted by, and I happened to be there to write it down.
You caught it as it came your way. Well, that's who we are, and I'm Mary Costello, and I'll be with you all till 8 o'clock. I'm just back from my holidays, my first Saturday back, and that was Peter Rowan and a track from his brand new album called All on a Rising Day, and that was Undying Love with the beautiful harmony there from Alison Krauss. And in my basement studio, my guests of the day, I'm delighted to say, are Mr. Guy Clark and Mr. Townes Van Zandt. And Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt and Peter Rowan and John Stewart are all appearing tonight at the Bloomsbury Theatre in London and tomorrow evening. Isn't that lovely, Guy? What do you think of that?
Oh, I love it. It's a great room to play in, and the audience is always nice, and there's about 100 tickets left.
Really?
So hurry up and get down there.
So one thing I want to know is, what time does it start?
7:30, I think, or half 7, as you say.
Okay, yeah, and what time and what time does it finish? What time do you have to be out of there?
Oh, God, just whenever they run us off, I guess.
All right.
I don't know how late. Paul, do you know what time it is? 11
Oh.
is we got to be through by, but we're going to cram as much fun into those few short hours as possible.
Okay, well, who's going to sing a song now? Whose turn is it now?
Well, I guess it's mine.
Okay, Guy.
This is about a year and a half ago. I was down at Jerry Jeff Walker's birthday bash in Austin, Texas, and ran into a couple old friends of mine, one named Ramblin Jack Elliott, who I don't know if any of y'all know or not.
Yeah, he was over here recently.
You know Jack? Yeah.
Yeah, he was here very, very recently.
Well, then you know for sure that they don't call him Ramblin Jack because he travels around a lot. You've ever heard Jack tell a story. And another guy named Larry Mahan, who's like maybe the best rodeo cowboy that ever lived, you know, all-around world champion rodeo cowboy, like 10 years in a row or something. And I ran into him in Austin, and we proceeded to stay up all night and greet the dawn in Austin, Texas. And this is a little chronicle of that event, as it were.
As it was.
As it should have been. So Ramblin' Jack said, I got these lines in my face, trying to straighten out the wrinkles in my life. When I think of all the fools I've been, it's a wonder that I've sailed this many miles. To which Mahan replied, he said, the sweet bird of you was sitting on my shoulder yesterday. But she's always changing partners, and I always knew she'd up and fly away. Well, it's staying up all night in the Driskill Hotel, and Ramblin' Jack and Mahan's cowboyed all to hell, and the room smelled like bulls, the words sound like songs. Now there's a pair to draw to, boys, I would not steer you wrong. So Ramblin' Jack said, I recall a time that I set my soul on fire just for show. And all it ever taught me was the more I learned, the less I seemed to know. Mahan crawled out from behind the couch, said, Jack, said, as far as I can see, the stakes are only horses in disguise. Ain't no need to ride 'em over, 'cause we could not ride 'em different if we tried. And it's staying up all night in a Driskill Hotel, Ramblin' Jack and Mahan's cowboyed all to hell, and the rooms smell like bulls, the words sound like songs. Now there's a pair to draw to, boys, I would not steer you wrong. Staying up all night in a Driskill Hotel, with Ramblin' Jack and Mahan was cowboyed all to hell.
That's Guy Clark performing live in our basement studio here today at GLR. Is that another new song, Guy?
Yeah, that's pretty new. Pretty new.
Okay, I think, is Towns now getting into...
Well, Towns is getting into it as we speak. He's right here, changing his socks.
I'm trying to get out of it. I was into it before I realized what happened. Well, here's a song. This is the only song, Mary, that I ever wrote that my mother could not stand.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yes, I believe I surely will. Go to town and drink my fill early in the morning. Little darling, she's a red-haired thing. Man, she makes my legs to sing. Wanna buy a diamond ring early in the morning. Mother was a golden girl. I slit her throat just to get her pearls. Cast myself into a whirl before a bunch of swine. It's a long way down the Harlan Road, busted back in a heavy load. Won't get through to save my soul early in the morning. Been a gambling man. I can roll them bones with either hand. 7 is the promised land early in the morning. Oh, whiskey be my dying bed. Tell me where to lay my head. Not with me is all she said early in the morning. If I had a dollar bill, yes, I believe I surely will. Go to town and drink my fill early in the morning.
Wow.
I was sitting back enjoying that. I was wondering,
you know, it might have been mother was a golden girl, just slit her throat to get her pearls.
I think
she
that's
taken offense to that.
Yeah, I think so.
well, if you just tuned in, that's Towns, Van Zandt and Guy Clark discussing the reasons why Towns' mother doesn't like that song.
Well, it just snapped to me.
Well, listen.
I just wrote it out of spite.
Well, I want to play a record because I want to see you two before my very eyes. So I'm hoping Paul will bring you upstairs.
Okay.
And then we can have a chat face to face, as it were. Okay, I'll see you.